Hello, and welcome to Extreme Gaming Podcast, episode 325, which is right after 324. And if you didn't hear it, go back and listen to all our shows. We have Hans on today. How you doing, Hans?
Hey,
And
I'm fine.
Trevor will join us later. He's stuck in traffic or he's doing a handstand. I'm not really sure.
Probably both.
But he'll at the same time.
He's Scottish. He's doing a handstand in the traffic. So.
In traffic, yeah, that would stop traffic. So that'd be good.
It's a Scottish thing.
Yep, there you go. So he'll be by soon. I like next to your name there, Hans, what you wrote.
What did I write next to my name? Oh yeah, no, I just left it there.
We're back on the Epstein file thing.
That is, I gotta be honest, that was not me this time.
Oh, okay, it was Trev. It says not Trev, haha. That figures, right?
Yeah.
We put crazy things in our notes, people out there. So just to goofy on each other and hopefully trick each other. But we don't get tricked very often, though. But once in a while.
It will happen once, so.
Anyway, join our Discord, discord.gg/Extreme Gaming Podcast. We'd love to have you in there. A few people joined off and on, and we chat about all the stuff we talk about here, as well as entertainment and other crazy things. So join us for that. If you want to email us ever, it's I can talk. It's info@extremegamingpodcast.com. And also look for our second podcast. We do Extreme Hollywood podcast. We only do that like once a month because this is a weekly and that takes a lot of work already. So we do the once a month entertainment thing, and that'll be coming up in April, and we'll give you a date as soon as we have a date. So what we're going to do is kind of jump into the news going on and discuss and so forth. So until Trev gets here, I'll start off with the little news on Halo. I didn't even know this was a thing, but apparently Halo is going to get an official legendary release that apparently is available now. Basically, fans have a lot to be excited about. They're stating in the article because they're launching Halo Campaign Evolve soon, which looks pretty good, actually. I don't know if you've seen the clips from it.
I've seen the clips from it. I'm not a massive Halo fan, but I know it's very popular, so.
I would play Halo because I did play Halo way back when it first came out, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
I think I played Halo 2. That was the last one I played. So
yeah, I don't know if I ever played 1, but I did 2 and I did 3. But I was just like, but back then it was kind of like, "Whoa, what is this?" There wasn't any games.
Yeah, see, that's the problem though.
Like it.
I mean, I don't hate Halo, but I don't play shooters very often. So that's the reason I don't really play Halo. So nothing more to be had there.
Yeah. Well, apparently they're going to be doing a legendary Halo release, and apparently they say that all Halo fans should be writing this down, so get a pen out. Halo fans have been interested to know that this brand new release of Halo Legendary Icon Wall Mount Grunt-Sized Edition. Yeah, that's a mouthful.
Right.
Halo Legendary Icon Wall Mount Grunt-Sized Edition.
Is that a physical edition or
this? I'm not sure. This is a collectible for sure, but
sounds like a physical edition. So
it was originally slated for an official launch starting April 1st. However, the collectible item was officially released slightly early and is now available via Dark Horse Direct. And they have a little picture of it here, and apparently it's a 10-inch by 11-inch wall mount. Depicting a bullet-scarred elite skull on crossed combat knives. It does look really cool, I'll have to admit. It does look really neat. And it's brought to you by Dark Horse Direct and 343 Industries. The wall mount is also painted in game-accurate gunmetal gray and represents the pinnacle of achievement across the Halo universe. So if you're a real diehard Halo fan, I'm not, but you would know what that means. I think the price seems fair for what it is. They said they're charging $70 to get this thing, and it does look very good. I mean, so we'll see. If you want to see a picture of it, you can Google that. Our audio listeners out there, it'll come up. The Halo Elite Skull wall mount is an homage to the most difficult and challenging setting of the original games. And any longtime player will remember tracking down and activating the various legendary skulls throughout the game, such as Halo 2's skulls that could only be collected on legendary mode. If you hear a dog in the background, that's mine.
Yeah.
He's going ape shit at something. But anyway,
he saw something.
Hey, let's see. Okay. So there's more stuff coming up besides that. Halo updates. There's going to be Halo remakes. They said that there's more than likely going to be a release of Halo 2 and 3 campaign remakes on the way as well. So that would be kind of cool. I like the update. That stuff, it looks much better, obviously. So if you are a Halo fan, I think that's a lot to look forward to. I'm kind of looking forward to it too. I'm almost tempted to get the wall mount. I mean, it looks pretty good. I mean, what do you think? Do you see it?
Yeah. It looks cool though, but I think if you're a Halo fan, you would probably buy this, right?
Oh yeah.
So, but I kind of do want to play the game again. I know I'm gonna lose every single match that I play. So that's
well, you know what's if what we could do is we could probably co-op because it's more fun if
we can die together. We did that once in a battle royale. Remember? We played for 3 hours and we got a grand total of 2 kills, I think, in the whole evening. So,
exactly.
I feel bad for the people that were shot by us. So yeah.
Yeah. That was probably just luck shots. It bounced off a wall or something.
And
they made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this looks good. I'm looking forward to seeing some Halo stuff. Hey, look, Microsoft could use a lift lately with the things going on in the industry. So this might be a good thing. And the remake trend continues because they've been doing this with other games, and it's definitely not just a trend anymore. It's a real thing happening. So, if they do the right games, it's worth it. And if the price is, decent and not unfair, that's all good too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next story I want to talk about is Ubisoft. We talk about them a lot here, but this is kind of
everyone's favorite company.
That's right. But this is kind of an overlook of what's going on or what's been happening with Ubisoft in the past and now. And I think a lot of people have forgotten that Ubisoft is 40 years old. They just celebrated their 40-year anniversary, March 28th, just a couple days ago when we recorded this. So I didn't even realize it had been that long. But basically, they went back in history as to what the game was of the first release they made. Do you know what the first release was without looking at the article?
Idea. No, seriously, no idea. Hit me.
In 1986, Zombie, ZOMBI, was released for the Amstrad CPC computer.
Right. Okay, that's a cool trivia. No, I didn't know that one. So
that's a long time ago, man.
Yeah.
First-person adventure game borrowed from George A. Romero's Dawn of the Dead, which if you know movies, you know what that is.
That's a good one.
Zombie's only remarkable quality is it was the debut game of Ubisoft. It wasn't Ubisoft. UB, second word, soft.
Yeah, soft. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess it was like that for a while before they changed it. Basically, from that point, they've been around for 4 decades. Ubisoft shed the name or got rid of the space in there, of course, and went on to do other franchises. Obviously, we know the best-selling franchise, Assassin's Creed, but they also did Just Dance. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. My nieces were really into those games back then.
Yeah, and that's been a huge hit, too. I didn't even know that was Ubisoft.
No, me neither.
They've dealt the what?
Me neither, to be fair. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, they do other games sometimes you don't know about. They do mobile stuff. They said the company has dealt with some of the biggest IPs around, Star Wars, which wasn't that great, Avatar, which actually was good.
I still need to play that one. Apparently, it's a very good game, especially now there's a third-person mode or something.
Well, I liked it when it first came out, Avatar, but Frontiers of Pandora. But then this last update, which was a big one, they said it has improved a lot of major areas of the game. So I'm kind of like, well, it wasn't bad to begin with. If they improved it, I'm gonna have to get back to it, I guess.
Yeah. So
basically, in all the years that Ubisoft has been out, all of us have played at least one game, by them. I'm a big AC fan. As much as I understand how Assassin's Creed has come down some notches, I still, I'm still a big fan.
Yeah, I love the new AC style, but I know I'm in the minority here. But gotta be fair though. I mean, Shadows for me was a bit of a low point. Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoyed it for what it was, but the originality was definitely lacking.
Yeah, it was the look never lacks. The one too much, so to speak. I already didn't like Valhalla. That was the only AC game that I think was just too big, right? Too bloated,
no doubt.
Too much going on. It's like, this is insane. Right?
If you forget about the AC bloat game, which is Valhalla, it was a good game, and so was the first DLC, but then the next 90 DLCs were like
insane. Weren't there also like 3 parts you needed to end or something in the games? Like,
you go to I think you go to Asgard. No, not is it Asgard? I forget. You went
I
there.
remember
and you could do
an
stuff.
ending with a wolf or something. You need to. I don't know.
I don't know. It's been a while since I played it, but I did enjoy it. It definitely was different. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, Shadows I really enjoyed. Well, one thing that kind of stayed in the article, and it does make a lot of sense, is that they never look bad. The games always look really good.
True.
I mean, they put money into the art direction and making everything look great.
I mean, as much as I have problems with Shadows, the graphics are not one of them. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, it looked gorgeous. I mean, I like being up on, in Assassin's Creed, if you didn't know, our audience out there, you have to climb these very high structures usually to get to a certain point where it's kind of like a fast travel point. But what happens is you're up on top and they do a panoramic around and you see everything in the distance and what's going on. And when you're up there, it's really beautiful. You can just sit there and look around at stuff. It looks really great. And then you jump off and land in a haystack. Isn't it cool that those haystacks exist everywhere? It's amazing.
Yeah, they're everywhere. In convenient locations.
That doesn't matter whether it's ancient Rome or whatever it is. It's always around.
Always haystacks. So.
Hey, Trev, he's here. Trev, as always, just joined us.
Here.
He had a little stuff to attend to, and now he's back. We were just in the middle of covering my game news we started out with before we get to yours. To go on about Ubisoft, even though it's 40th anniversary, a lot of stuff's been happening to them. Failed takeovers, massive sexual misconduct scandal, huge layoffs, consistent profit charts with the arrows going down. And basically they've the gist of the article is unfortunately at their heyday, they were great. And then they just kind of like tanked. Yeah. But unless we forget, since it is their 40 years, they did Rayman in 1995. A lot of people forgot about that. And they did Rainbow Six. They did Ghost Recon. They did Splinter Cell. These were all Tom Clancy. They signed an IP agreement with Clancy when he was alive and still holds true with the estate. And this is all stuff that when they came out was great. I did play a lot of these. There's Far Cry. There's Prince of Persia. There's Myst, if you want to go way back.
I like Myst.
And I hear they're going to redo Myst. We said something about it on past podcasts.
But they're doing I think it's called Remix or something.
Yeah.
Isn't it out yet, by the way? I think it's already out.
I don't know, actually. Not really sure.
Thought so.
Anyway, they said Assassin's Creed games became yearly releases. 2014 had 2. I didn't know that. That was a long time ago, but I didn't know they had released 2 at that time. But they said over time, review scores slowly dropped as the repercussions of annual output became apparent. Mainly the games became buggier, peaking with very broken unity, and fatigue grew. And not surprisingly, the lore got complicated, et cetera, and it just took its nosedive. It's kind of funny. It took 40 years, well, a little less than 40 years to become great, and it took like only a year to kill themselves.
Aren't their stocks really down in the toilet now?
Oh God, oh God, yeah. Their stock was way up at one point. I think it's so far down now that if you invested back then, you can gain your money back, or maybe you will if you hold on for another 40 years. I don't know. Well, anyway, Ubisoft's rivals found ways to improve on the open world formula, and they named Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a good example. They're bigger, when Red Dead 2 came out, the world was bigger than any Ubisoft game and 4 times as deep as any Ubisoft game at that time. They did have The Division, but they said even the family that owns Ubisoft always used to talk in their company as before Division, after Division. Almost like that was the standard, at that point when they got better or whatever. People are not interested in spending 60 hours crossing off tasks that are the same from game to game. That's the cut and paste thing that Trev always talks about.
The Ubisoft formula. That's literally the name.
Yeah. Of course, the sexual misconduct scandal, we remember when it first came out, it was really weird. Nobody said anything, and then all of a sudden, certain people started leaking, and then they started denying, and then eventually they had to admit it, and it was just like, ugh, it was ugly. And now we're at the point where Ubisoft is off had to sell off its IP or I should say, rent it to Tencent or whatever to see what they could do with it. And I hope they do a good job, but it doesn't look good either way, which is a shame because, a lot of those games were good, but this seems to be happening as you know, in a lot of areas and stuff. So it's not like it's that surprising. But you know what? I would not that I want to see Ubisoft go away, but if they're doing stuff that's not good and they're going to go away because of it, then it's okay as long as there's good companies to replace them. And we do have them. There's some indies out there that did Expedition 33, which won a zillion awards. There's a bunch of other games popping up here and there by ex-Ubisoft employees and ex-other developer employees that all decide to come together and come back to where it's kind of like where it started. Instead of having 300 workers, you have like 10, 20, 30. And that's it. And they turn out a great game. Yeah. And the game still come out. It makes you wonder. Sorry, go ahead.
Question for you, Gray.
Yep.
I know we've discussed this before, but I don't recall what your answer is. So I am not trying to poke the bear. I'm trying to be reminded of the reason why we're talking about Ubisoft. You like so many of their games, especially the Assassin's Creed games. I'm thinking Valhalla is a great example of that. Very, very long in terms of the game and the DLC and the rinse and repeat. See, after a while, do you not get bored of that, or do you actually like that? So keep doing that.
No. Hans and I were talking about it a little before he came in. I think Valhalla was a great game up until maybe the first DLC, maybe even the second if you want to stretch it. After that, forget it. I mean, it's ridiculous. All the other DLCs that kept coming out was obviously just trying to soak the public, and there's no way you could ever finish the game. So, I mean, believe me, even though I'm a big AC fan, I see the problems. And I was mentioning to Hans that I did enjoy Shadows, but I could see where the originality is like dead. I like the weather seasons that they changed, which they never did before, so that added a cool element. But for that element, the other things that didn't change were kind of like, okay. And I'm not like a nuclear scientist, but I could have come up with a couple of different ways that the character could have done something differently. It's not really that difficult.
One thing you do is you've got to make the game smaller. Now, I know everyone thinks it needs to be longer and longer and longer. Like, listen, one of the best games I ever played was Stray, the one with the cat. And that was like 10, 15 hours or something. That was phenomenal. If you price it accordingly, it doesn't need to be 100 hours for a game.
Yeah. But that, you know what I mean? You hit the nail on the head here, if priced accordingly.
Yeah.
So sadly, that's not always the case, right?
Now.
So,
and if you want to make it longer, then come up with more original ideas. So the rinse and repeat thing you can have to an extent, but why don't you mix it up a little bit where you're putting in other random aspects into the game apart from the rinse and repeat method, and then just make it more interesting, and then more people are more likely to actually want to keep playing it, because if you rinse and repeat, people just get bored. And thing is, we've said before, Gray, they can't rely on just that one or two franchises that have got the main ones. So that's not enough to keep you going, because if something goes wrong with them, you're up a certain creek without a paddle. So.
Well, the crazy thing is we were reading off the IP that they have, and they've got a lot of IP that's great. It's just that and to tank on all of them is beyond me. I mean, it's a gold mine. If they had kept it up and I think what happened was they got so full in their britches, so to speak, is that they were doing so well, they just kept on going, and eventually they weren't relevant anymore, and they didn't even realize it. They just kept, whatever. Yeah. We'll make it, and they will come. Well, they won't come after a while.
And Gray, the competition as well. The competition is fierce, especially with all these indie studios and stuff popping up and giving us phenomenal games like Enshrouded as an example I keep talking about. If you're up against that kind of competition, you need to raise your bar. Otherwise, you're going to be left behind, no matter how big you are, really.
And the amazing thing, just to see, and we can all see it, is that when you see ex-employees of Ubisoft and various other companies all going around and joining up together and doing these better games, it tells you right there that obviously they wanted to do a better game, but they weren't allowed to, or whatever you want to call it.
And what's the best example of that? Claire Obscura, Expedition 33.
Yep.
Perfect example. One of the what was Game of the Year last year, wasn't it?
Yep.
Or
wasn't Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Deservedly so.
Yeah.
And it won awards from the French government.
I think it is now not sure, but I think it surpassed Elden Ring in.
Wow.
I think it's the most nominated game now, I think, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, for a while there, not that I'm saying it's not worth it, but I was getting kind of tired after every time seeing an article, and they won this award, and this award, this award, this award, this award.
So just save us time and tell us what awards they did not win. That would be quicker.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep, Claire Obscure now holds the all-time record for most wins, and
Christ, that's mental. Have
across
you
the
both
board.
beat it? I know Hans has probably beat it. Have you beat it yet, Greg?
I beat it, yeah. It took me about 40 hours. I like the game, but again, it's like a Japanese RPG, but made by a Western studio, so it's just right up my alley.
I like it too, for that reason. It's a nice blend where you're getting like the best of both worlds per se.
Yeah.
I mean, I only played 2 hours, 3 hours. I got to get back to it, but I enjoyed it. And it's all turn-based, so if you don't like turn-based, you're not going to like it. But
have you finished AC Shadows? I know that's a side step.
Yeah.
Oh, you have.
Up
good,
until
okay. I was going to say
I haven't played the DLC that came out, but I'm not in a rush. So
well, that's all right. I was literally about to get onto the phone to the Ubisoft Guillemot family and tell them to revoke your Ubisoft membership for not actually completing the fucking game.
I mean, every game that they've done out that I like, and there's a lot of them, I've always completed them all. Far Cry's,
oh God, the last Far Cry was so bad. I'm sorry.
They've been bad for a while, mate.
Man.
Well, the Far Cry 5 wasn't that great.
Far Cry 4 was the last great Far Cry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agree. Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Far Cry 5 was boring. Far Cry 6 was
4, I think, were the best
boring,
of the series.
3 was brilliant. Blood Dragon.
Oh yeah, yeah. The trippy DLC.
Yeah, the acid one. I take Gray back to his 20s.
One thing though, until this day, I still regret nothing. By the way, choosing the bad ending for Far Cry 3. So, I killed all my friends, got the girl pregnant, then got killed. I don't care.
Never put this man in charge of Belgium or Germany ever, please, man. Jesus.
Oh, put me in charge of. Please put me in charge of Belgium. First
no, you hate Belgium.
All games will be free.
I know. I kind of like my country. I just hate the national team. That's all.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll dissolve on day one.
That kind of goes hand in hand with almost every country. Everybody hates the government. But we're not going to get into that.
No, this is national football team, by the way. So just saying.
Yes. Now, when I played I got it straight.
That's all, folks.
I mean, I love open world games like that where I can play 100 hours and not even know I played 100. It's kind of like, what? Oh. And then you're done and you just have a lot of fun. But when it starts to drag and you're actually looking at the hours you're putting in, and then you get surprised that you have only put in like 40 or 50 and you're maybe already bored, that's not a good sign. And I think the last really good game that they did was Division 2, and that's 7-8 years ago now.
Ubisoft,
and I still like
we all know that Ubisoft is coming to the way they are now, right? They're coming to an end, right? It's.
I mean, if they didn't sell off to Tencent, they probably would definitely be gone now.
Yeah,
I mean, entirely.
The next one now is the new Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake or remix, whatever they call it. But there's no date for it, so they
had a date or two, but that didn't work. So they keep saying though it's going to be this year. So I mean, I hope so. I mean, look, everything looks good that I've seen.
The thing is, though, I'm still confused about that remake because I played the original one like 2 years ago now, and it still holds up very well graphically. It looks better than some of the newer ones they made. So I'm wondering what they are going to do in that one.
I saw some side-by-side comparisons, and I like what I was seeing because it wasn't just a skin over it, so to speak. They used a lot of the modern methods and parkouring and stuff that you see in the later games, which wasn't in Black Flag, and they've added it in. So now you see him parkouring like above on I forget what they call it on a sailboat, but all the different sails and the wood pieces that are holding it up, and he's just doing all this stuff that he couldn't do in the original game. So I was like, oh,
I'll buy it though. I'll buy it probably day one even, but I'm like.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious about how they're gonna do this for a game that still holds up very well, and is still very highly regarded in the Assassin's Creed.
Sure. If it's as good as it looks, that could be one time where you're gonna see Ubisoft do well with sales or whatever.
There's also the other side of the coin. If this is not a good game and they destroy the character of the original one,
yeah, it's gonna be bad news.
Yeah, so.
Everyone will be coming and go, you killed my favorite game. Ah.
Yeah.
It's
I still got the old one, so
I'm going to be really curious of what Tencent does carrying a lot of these franchises forward, because I have no idea what they're going to do. I mean, I keep hearing they want to bring it back to its glory and all this stuff, and I don't know. I hope so. Well, we're not going to know for a couple of years, so
we'll see.
One other thing I was gonna cover this podcast, but there's just too much information. We were talking about before about how there used to only be like 2 game showcases a year, then 4. I don't know. Now apparently it's becoming monthly or something. They just had an Xbox partner preview, and they call it March 2026, which means
Xbox still exists. Okay.
Yeah. And there was some really good games that I saw on there that weren't announced before, but are now. But I don't want to go in too deep to it because it's going to take time. So we'll just want to let you know it did happen. You can check it out on YouTube if you want to see some of the clips, and we will go over some of those games on the next podcast. All right, since Trevor's shown up, we're gonna back up and go into the hardware tech news and take her away.
Okay. Some bad news.
More.
What? I've just noticed the second entry. Hans, you're a bad man. You're very bad.
Someday.
Yeah, I didn't read the first entry, which I heard was you. Hans said.
That wasn't me. That wasn't me. So, first one wasn't me. So
Gray has involvement as an ICT person on Epstein Island.
There's even a link in there, so it's proven to be right.
You could at least put me on Love Island. At least I would have things to look at. I mean,
to be fair, you actually do look a little bit like Epstein, don't you? Jesus Christ,
that's
scary.
Sure.
Hey,
I couldn't look too much like him now because, well, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, because he's dead.
Yeah.
Anyway, some bad news involvement. I usually bring these articles up because I like bashing various people and companies that just piss all over people's jobs. And we have a couple of studios acting here with getting rid of more staff members. First of all, PlayStation is closing a studio, another game studio. This one is Dark Outlaw Games, and that was a studio founded just last year, actually, by former Call of Duty Zombies lead Jason Blundell. I recognise that name because I love Call of Duty Zombies. So now they're saying around 50 or so people are getting laid off. There isn't an exact reason. It's just the usual fluff from Sony this time. Rise in development costs, slow industry growth, changing player behavior, blah, 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 blah. Basically, if you can't generate them lots of money with live service games, they're going to shut you down. There was a studio recently, trying to remember their name. Was it Blue Point Games?
Blue Point, they shut them down.
They get shut down. And they went to Sony with several ideas, and Sony just said no to all of them, shut them down. I'm like, really, guys? Like, what a waste of absolute talent. I know games cost an absolute fortune to make. So, like, the thing is, Sony have only got 2 types of games, in my opinion: the live service game and the single player story game, which they're very cautious in doing them because the amount of money they can lose. It costs $300 million plus to make one of their games. And if it's one of their big first party games, they'll probably get the money back for that. But if it's not, they risk losing money. So if it's not one of those 2 types of games, they're just going to close you down.
But that is a problem Sony has because they have cultivated this fan base over the years that only wants their exclusives. So whenever they go outside of that bubble, this is what you get now. I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for them at all. I mean, I feel bad for the people getting fired, of course, but I mean, I have little respect for Sony as a company, as a gaming company, because they have done more harm than good to the whole gaming industry anyway. So yeah.
I just don't like to see anyone lose their jobs.
No, of course not.
It's
going to keep happening anyway.
Why even get this studio? Why buy them? Why start this up if you're going to like just a year or so later? That's really bad hindsight from them. You know, You're supposed to be planning for the future. You're supposed to be able to, as a CEO or whatever, look 6 months, a year, 2 years into the future to see what will happen.
Yeah, they don't know how to do that anymore.
Yeah, they've got this.
I also do think that console manufacturers like Sony and Microsoft, they're in a bit of a weird spot that they don't really know what direction they want to go. So
yeah, it doesn't help.
so no, really, it looks that way. Like Sony making all these weird decisions. Microsoft has actually completely almost abandoned the console market. Let's be honest. I mean, Xbox is now more like a brand than a console. Sony, Sony wants to
console, mate, will be interesting.
Yeah, but it's not really a console anymore. It's a hybrid PC.
True.
That's what I mean.
Well, yeah, but but to be fair, it's been a hybrid PC for a while. It's not like it just happened overnight.
No, not really, because you couldn't
properly now though.
Steam and Epic and all that kind of stuff on there, right? So it's going to be more.
We've been talking about this for a couple of years. So
yeah, Sony won't do that yet, and they're going to have to buckle at some point, by the way. But for now they don't, because they still have their fan base that buys their exclusives, which bring in a lot of money for them. But is that going to be enough to compete in the long run? I don't know. And they're shutting down studios. Let's see what they do with Nixxes now. If they're stopping PC ports, what are they going to do?
That'll be interesting. Are Nixxes their studio though? Did they buy Nixxes?
Yeah, they bought them specifically to port games to PC.
And now they're not going to bother. So that makes a lot of sense.
Again, it's unconfirmed, Gray. I'm saying that rumor is a bit weird. I'm not saying it won't happen. I'm just saying the rumor itself is a bit weird. So.
I reckon they'll only bring their live service games to PC because they need the competition. That's why, was it Crimson Desert? No, Marathon is on all 3 platforms.
Yeah, and Marathon is failing spectacularly on PC.
It hasn't been out that long.
I don't know if
it's already failing.
They don't have the numbers anymore. They went from, I think, 80K peak to 13 or something it is now.
Is it? Because I heard they were doing good, or at least at the
not
beginning.
on PC. Well, see how many are online now.
How many copies of the game you sell, as opposed to how many people are actively playing at any one time, are 2 different things, I guess. Because you actually have to pay for the game up front. Wasn't expensive, but
the
still.
game's 40 euros or dollars or whatever. So for a live service game in a market where there's a lot of competition and a lot of free competition.
Yeah.
The problem with the live service, the way they're doing it, is it really has become do or die. I mean, you're either going to be successful or you're dead, and more often you're dead. And Bungie, this is the last hurrah, I think, for Bungie. They put $300 million into this game, and if it really is starting to tank, like you said, I think it's going to be bye Bungie. The next ones are going to be gone.
Well, hopefully not, because I want Destiny 3 to come out. So,
well, you know I don't know if I would say I would be worried about it or not worried about it, but if the IP is that strong, then the IP is going to be sold off or licensed to somebody that can do it. Simple as that.
Somebody else does the mobile game.
CD Projekt Red has been doing that. They handed off the remake of Witcher 1 to a different company. Now they ultimately have control, but still they said, well, we don't have time to do this, but we trust you. We've scoped you out. We know how good you are here. Go ahead and do it, and we'll oversee. And that's fine.
There's only 3K players online at the moment, by the way, for Marathon. Just saying.
Really?
3K.
Ooh, that's not good. While you're looking at it, does it have the history, like the first week, whatever? They usually do that on the graph or whatever.
Yeah,
but that's not a good sign.
So, no, it's not. That's wow.
This is on PC, by the way, and only on Steam. So,
wow. And we're gonna get into some more interesting news.
Yeah.
Story that I might as well keep the ball rolling.
Keep the bad news rolling, boys. Save the worst bad news to this one's really disgusting, actually. And that is that Epic are laying off over 1,000 staff members. That's right, 1,000 staff members. I won't read out all of this, but I'll read out some of it just to give you an idea of what's going on. So Unreal Engine firm is making over $500 million of cuts to put it in a more stable place. Basically, that thousand or so folk that are getting rid of is about 23% of its workforce. And the High-Hegian CEO, Tim Sweeney, partially done a Sony and blamed a downturn in the gaming industry, specifically Fortnite engagement. I know this game costs a lot of money to make. Like, I know it will cost a lot of money. The licenses they have to get for the specials to pin it, I get it. I do get it. But when you read 1,000 people going, you're just like, wow, it blows your mind. It is one of the most successful games in the world, as we know. And a lot of the young kids and adults as well love it. And he's basically saying now they're going to try and they'll give the staff members up to 4 months severance pay.
That's good. At least,
something.
Yeah. By the way,
the other one,
sorry to interrupt. I need to make a correction here for Marathon. It was 88K players online and 20,000 right now. 3,000 was another stat.
Okay.
All right, just saying, just to be clear.
It's not good enough, though. Not yet.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the licenses they've had, right? And they've had some Epic licenses in this game. I'm sure.
Did you say Epic licenses?
Yeah, I didn't mean
By the way,
that.
didn't they release 1,000 people or 800 last year also in November? Was it? Yeah.
I don't remember. You might be
right.
I'd
be surprised, man. I think it's all blended together. This bad news that they probably did.
It is.
Trev, when what you saw there, I had read something that they said most of the layoffs were all Fortnite.
No, yeah. It's mostly that's the main game they make.
Yeah, it's a money printer. It's a money printer.
That's what I don't understand. The money makes gods a profit, and they're releasing people.
Yeah, I do think the gaming industry is slowing somewhat. There is listen. Let's not let bullshit. Let's call a spade a spade. I don't stick up for anyone. I just like to try and say it how it is, and the industry is slowing down because of development costs, because of everything gone up in price. And people are going, right, what have I got time and money to actually spend on game-wise? I see it myself. You boys will see it. I get overwhelmed sometimes the amount of games I've got. Overwhelmed. And I'm like, what am I going to play? What am I going to play? I'm trying not to be like that, but it's easier said than done. So if I'm feeling like this, and you guys to an extent might feel like that, then there'll be other people that will feel like that. And they're battling even harder to try and get hold of some of your pennies. And that's why they put these licenses in with like The Simpsons and whatever else they've done in the past, Marvel, whatever. That cost them a lot, a boat full of money to get these licenses in place. So kind of a shame. The cuts you were talking about before, Hans, 2023, they cut about 830 employees for similar reasons, about 16% of its workforce. Yeah. Although Tim Sweeney did emphasize that the layoffs aren't related to AI. I mean, okay, to the extent it improves productivity, we want to have as many awesome developers developing great content and tech as we can. But it isn't to do with AI. Now, don't forget they do make the Unreal Engine, which is another big revenue driver for them.
That's why I still don't understand. I did read something though that not the only reason, I guess, but one of the reasons why they lose the money is so far in their suit against Sony and somebody else, I forget, they have spent $1 billion with a B dollars in legal fees and whatnot. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah, but they actually, with Apple, I think they were kind of right, because Apple and Google kind of have a duopoly. When it comes to Steam, it's insane. They're going to lose every case they do against Steam.
No, they're doing Sony. They're suing Sony.
Didn't they do
Apple.
Something with Steam also for the 30% cut or something?
I think they came to an agreement or something.
And they're losing that anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Right. Despite the fact of whether they're wrong or right in the suit, is the fact that they spent $1 billion. That's almost like saying, you get into a car accident, God forbid, and you got to sue the person or whatever. And I think I'll just spend $1 billion trying to sue you.
No, it's fun. Here's $1 billion.
I mean, but so now they go like, "Whoa, we're losing money." Well, yeah, $1 billion.
They also got to be honest, right? Their Epic Game Store, their launcher, just get rid of it. They published numbers like I think was it last year or this year? I'm not even sure anymore.
You know that they're never going to give that one away.
I mean the numbers for there's if you have only 6% of players, right? Bought actually bought something on the store. The rest is all the free games. So you can't. That's not a business model, right? Giving away free games that cost a lot of money. And Tim Sweeney, his ugly mug is on screen now, by the way, is probably the worst.
Bigger, please.
He's probably the worst CEO in all of gaming, right? He has no idea what the fork is doing. So I mean,
well,
it's insane. No,
look at this. The reason I put the picture on screen, he does look a wee bit like Gray.
Is he on the list, by the way?
Everybody with gray hair looks like me. Well, come on, man. Jesus.
And this is a great way to say edit. Guys, I got to go. My girl, her report card was just published and it's not good. So it's
no problem,
really
my man. Take it easy.
So I'll get you guys later, okay?
Okay, no.
Bye.
Man.
Bye.
Oh, bad news.
Will go
bad
on.
News in the Hans household. It's all right. We've got it for the next little while, Mr. Gray.
Yep, I'm just marking down my edit point.
No, you don't need to edit that. The fact that you said edit point means you now have to do that, whereas you didn't have to do it before.
He was going edit. It's like, okay.
Did he? Oh, okay, I didn't hear him.
Yeah,
he was too low. Okay. He was too low in volume. So
with audio editing, it's much simpler. If I had to worry about all the video, it'd be a different story. But anyway,
of course,
we digress.
Go ahead. So yeah, that Tim Sweeney is a very ugly man, actually, to be honest with you. The amount of money they've made, it said here, Epic have announced that PC players spent, this is just PC players, $1.16 billion on the Epic Game Store last year. While it estimates that Epic Games generated $6.21 billion in gross revenue last year overall. And they're wanting to get rid of people. And that's just for PC, man. For the first stat. So I'm kind of lost.
Well, when you hear a figure like 6 billion and then they're cutting 1,000 people, etc., obviously only two things could be going on, and actually both things could be going on at one time. Number one is profit sharing, and all the investors are going, we want our money and we want it now, and so they have to pay them. The other reason could be that they just feel like everything's been dropping and they got to compete. But it's, I mean, poor business decisions. There's no doubt. You make 6 billion, even if you pay off your investors, you're squandering money somewhere, and of course. I get the idea why they had to sue, Apple and Sony, whatever, but $1 billion, man, you think somebody would come along and say, maybe we should draw the line at this point and save money. So I don't get it. And if the other thing that's kind of weird is if Fortnite is losing money, and they did say something about that Fortnite is losing players, if that's the case, because Fortnite, as far as the couple times I've gone in and out of it, doesn't seem like it's really hurting as far as what they do. But if they're losing player base, and that's just an example of what's going on in gaming,
in
and
general,
stuff. But the other thing too is, do you think, I wouldn't put it past corporations, but this is just me surmising, it's only my opinion, when some of the companies have been laying off people, I always get the suspicion sometimes, not with everybody, but that other companies take the advantage and start getting rid of people at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Purely because it's better to join in the so-called bad news to make it look like it's affecting everybody equally when it really isn't affecting everybody equally.
That is a very good point, mate. I've actually noticed the same thing, and it didn't actually dawn on me until you actually said that. They're like the blind leading the blind sometimes, aren't they? At these studios and whatnot, they'll just follow one another. Let's pull the trigger. Let's put the price up. Let's do this. Let's do that. Oh, things improve, and the economy recovers somewhat, and the cost of living goes down a bit. Will the price of games go down? No, we stay the same. Just the same as petrol is fuel. Like it very rarely goes down. Usually just goes up when there's something going wrong. When it goes better, doesn't usually go down much. So
I think it's going to depend on like a lot of the indie studios. Like when some games have come out from the smaller studios, some of them charge $30, $40, $50, which is not 70, 80, 90. So that's good. But if you're going to make a game that's as good as Expedition 33, then people will tend to pay it if they're getting a really good quality game. But there's so many games that are not worth the money that people get this overall opinion that none of the games are worth the money. So why bother? And that in turn feeds the negativity, which in turn then drops the sales, which in turn affects all of gaming, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
I think also timing has been really bad on the gaming industry. First, you had the fact that they started yakking about AI. And so then they start getting rid of a couple people because they're going to have AI, do this and do that. I don't like it, but I get it. From a business standpoint, I understand. So that was the first step. Then all of a sudden we get the RAM shortage, and AI, to blame again, is opening up all these data centers that are the size of New York City or whatever. And now you see them all go, not being able to get the parts they need, the chips, the memory, the whatever. And so now you start seeing that affecting all the prices, which of course makes sense. So the games go up, the computer goes up, the components go up, the consoles go up, and that again starts pushing everything down. So that's now you got 2 or 3 different factors now pushing you down. I mean, it's
a
gotten to the point
perfect
where
storm, Gray, isn't it?
Exactly.
Storm.
You said it exactly right. Perfect storm. The ball's rolling down the hill. You ain't putting it back up again.
No,
it's just not. And at this rate, you're not going to see Ubisoft anymore, and Bungie anymore, and a couple other companies. And you're going to see I'm going to call them mid-size. I don't even know if you can call them indies anymore, because some of them are a little more prominent than regular indies. So I'm going to say indie medium. I don't know. You're going to see some of them probably.
Indie light.
Yeah, you're going to see them either coming up with franchises of their own that are similar-ish to what people have played before, or if they have enough money to license the IP from various companies that are going to go under, and do it themselves. I mean, look at oh God, I forgot the company that makes the new Bond game that makes Hitman. Was it IO?
Oh, forgotten. Yeah,
I think it's IO. But anyway, they did the right thing. They wanted to make a Bond game, but they did the right thing. They went out and said, we want to license Bond from you. They paid whatever fees they had to pay, and then they decided they're going to try to make the best game they can. Yes, the game's not out yet, but everything that I've seen, it looks really good if it holds up.
Do you want to tell them what you pre-ordered, unless you've already done it?
Yeah, I was looking at some of the editions, and I don't always pull the trigger on some of this stuff, but I'm a huge Bond fan, going all the way back to Dr. No. No, I wasn't old enough to remember Dr. No, but as the movies came out.
Who's your favorite Bond?
No, my favorite Bond's always been Connery.
It's not actually mine, despite being a fellow Scotsman. It's not actually. I love him. I loved Roger Moore. I thought he was brilliant.
I if I had a rank right now, and we're throwing in Daniel Craig, I would say it would be Connery, Craig, and Moore would be my 1, 2, 3.
Oh. Pierce Brosnan doesn't get a look in.
No, I'm not saying that. I liked Pierce Brosnan stuff. I really did. Actually, who I really liked was Timothy Dalton. But the problem was, he was only able to do 2 movies, but it wasn't his fault. That was the time where United Artists went bankrupt, and then they started having to reorganize and all this stuff. And then you didn't see a Bond movie come out for 10 years. There was no Bond movie. So he got caught up in all that, and he had to work, right? So he can't sit around and wait for Bond. So he left, but I thought he was really good, and he was probably the more book accurate, and stuff too. So that has to be that too. But I think that a lot of people that have come around and say they do a Bond game, but to really try to do a Bond game and make it fit into the mold that we all like, that's a tough thing to do. And like I said, I don't know because I haven't played the game. But from the gameplay trailers I've seen, actual gameplay, it's looking really good. I'm praying that it's actually going to be good. But anyway, back to the editions. So they come out with a collector's edition and a legacy edition. The collector's edition, I think, is $200, and the legacy edition is $300. So I wasn't going to do it, but then I started looking at the legacy edition. I'm going like, ooh. So in the legacy edition, they have the golden gun. If you know anything about the movies, Man with the Golden Gun, was a Bond movie. It was also a Bond novel. And Scaramanga was the enemy, and he had a gold gun that he could put together real quickly. And he had gold bullets and all this stuff. So the edition has a really nice stand with the golden gun on display with golden bullets on display. Top-notch looking 007 logos. The box that it comes in is high end. There's also another card of some sort that has a 007 logo that you can take out and actually put and move around if you want. It almost looks like an Epic museum piece, almost like of the best whatever. On top of that, of course, is the game. Plus, I get extras, etc., that you don't get with the other versions. So I just looked at this thing and went like, "Oh man, I don't know." I still wasn't going to do it, and then I started thinking about like, "Whoa, what can I sell on eBay that could make me money to pay for this?" So I finally decided to put up my RTX 4070 Super. I was waiting to see whether the price was going to go up, and I've noticed that the price is kind of leveled off and really hasn't gone much higher. So I decided, what the hell? So I sold it. It's great. I put it up for $450, which is about what they've been selling for. I'm serious. I put it up, and in 10 minutes, it was bought.
What? So you didn't put it up as an auction to see if you could get more money?
No. I put it up as an auction, but I put a buy it now feature. And so I put the buy it now. I figured, well, if they really want it that bad, maybe someone will just snag it. One person put in a bid, but the buy it now was still there. And then the guy just took it in 10 minutes, gone.
What, for $450?
$450.
So if you'd left it as an auction, it possibly could have went higher. That's why I don't like to buy it now.
But I try to do my research whenever I put things on eBay. And I looked at the sales of my card from right now going back at 3 or 4 months. And it all seems to fluctuate right around like 375, 450, 475. Once it hit 5, and then it hasn't really done anything, over that. So I figured it was worth a shot. It's sold. So minus fees, I still cleared, I think, close to 4. And I'm like, okay, so the Legacy Edition costs 3, boom, and I still got $100.
Those fees are shocking. We don't get them in the UK anymore. I think I was saying that to you before,
yeah,
when you were selling something.
eBay is 13.5% of whatever you sold it for. Now that's just the regular, final value fees. If you want to put on all the extras, supposedly when you auction, oh my God, it has really gone up in price. They sit there and go like, here, you want to put a reserve bid? And then, in other words, you set a price that you want to see it go for, not less than that. Yeah, sure. They charge a couple bucks for that. Now they've charged a percentage of what you sell it for. And I'm sitting there going like, no. And then I look at other things like you want a subtitle underneath the regular title in the auction? No problem. $150 for that.
I think in Europe they got rid of that like a year or so ago because of the competition of like other companies popping up similar to them that were just doing it for free. So that's why they done it. And you have a purchase protection fee, but you can choose to pay that yourself, or you pass it on to the customer. So I always pass it on to the customer. so I'm glad. Like the Great Gray sold something for me in the States, and I was like, oh my God, I probably just drew level or lost a little bit actually because of all this, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
I mean, eBay's really the only one in town. There's other auction services, but they're just not. They're king of the hill.
They're top by a country mile. Yeah, of course they are.
So you always got to go in going like, well, I want this much minus 13.5%. So then you got to figure out, is you still going to be happy with what's left over, or do you need to raise the price? The problem is though, is people don't look at it that way when they're looking at auctions. So if you raise the price a little, that could kill your whole auction right away. So you don't know. And I used to take chances on maybe going with the regular bidding auction, but these days, man, people are just like, they'll make their bids, but more often than not, you're going to lose on the item unless it's something really hot. So, you have to really be careful. I'm just happy I got the money and I can pay for my Legacy Edition, and I got $100 left over, which is fine because I bought something else for $100. So that makes me even.
What else did you buy for $100?
There was at my house, I have my television set up with a Android TV box, and I also found out, I didn't even know I could do this. I have a 22 old Yamaha AV receiver. Stereo setup, 2 speakers, all that stuff. And I didn't think I could hook it up to the TV, but then I went and looked at the TV, and I'm going like, wait a minute. So then I started looking at my unit, and I look on the back, and I didn't know that I had an optical cable for sound on that old receiver. So that must have been one of the. Yeah, that must have been one of the originals, because that goes way back. Because I'm going like, ooh. So I did a quick research on ChatGPT to make sure I was right, and I was. And I went, damn. And so then I hook up my receiver with 2 nice high frequency JBLs on the, and it sounds so good now. So it was just like, nice. Yeah.
That's the is it with the port with the red light coming out of it? I think it's Toslink they call that. The technology.
Yeah. Now that I already had, but then I have 3 remotes now. So I have one for the stereo, one for the TV, and one for the box. And I'm going like, let me see what's out there. And they just came out fairly recently with a remote by Sofa Baton. I used to wonder about that name. I'm going like, what's Sofa Baton? And then I started dawning on me. Baton, hold in your hand, sofa. You sit on the sofa, baton. And I go, Anyway, so this thing is an all-in-one, but what's nice about it, it has a little readout window, almost like a touchscreen, but it's not a touchscreen. But there's only one little rolling thing in the middle, like a middle mouse button, and you just roll it to whichever it is, hit it, and you operate the equipment. And then you just roll to the next one, hit it, operate the equipment. So now the one. Yeah, and it wasn't cheap. It was like $135 or something.
Jesus Christ, for a remote control. Gee, I want to be able to control the Enterprise for that price.
Yeah, but here's the thing that's great about it. It controls almost anything, no matter how old it is. They have a database of 500,000 devices.
Was that a pain in the arse to program?
It's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not that dumb. For people like us that are enthusiasts, it's not that difficult at all. I was really curious as whether it was going to have my receiver, because my receiver is old. So I punched in Yamaha, and I put it came right up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no problem. And I just go like, dingo. So it's much easier just sitting there, just acting like it's almost like a handheld computer or a phone. And then just, nice. Yes. And on top of that, they do have a phone app, and you can actually edit some of the stuff on the remote through the app on the phone. So you can kind of make it a little more like you want it, that way. So I was going like, what the hell? I got an extra $100.
Two cool speakers and a nice, good quality stereo setup for your living room TV. Nice. Yep. I like it, man. I like it. But no Dolby Atmos or any fancy surround sound.
No. It's just, well, actually, that's another funny thing. That unit is actually capable of doing surround sound.
Oh.
So what I did was, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a subwoofer, because they're not cheap. So I went on eBay again, and I was able to find a subwoofer at a decent price, not too expensive. It was used. It's got some scratches and stuff on it, but it works fine. Well, he said it works fine. I'll know when it gets here. So I bought that too for like $80, but brand new it would have been like $200.
Oh, wow.
I just didn't want to spend that much. So when it comes in, I'm going to hook up the subwoofer. So now I'll have the stereo, 2 speakers, and a subwoofer. And if I should ever want to put rear speakers, it can handle it.
Get the rear speakers, man. What's the point of getting a subwoofer if you're not going to have the surround? You need kind of work hand in hand.
Well, you know better than I do. Maybe you can tell me. But when the problem is that our room where we have the TV, our chair, couch, whatever you want to call it, is basically up against the wall. So how do you put a speaker behind you when the wall's there?
Yeah, I've got the exact same problem. I don't know if you can see here. No, you can't.
And for our audio audience, we'll explain what's going on.
Just stick it. There you go. There's one of the Sonos speakers. Now, it was a pain for me. My couch was against the wall like yours. I've brought it several inches forward. I've put the speakers to the side. Now, I won't get full true Dolby Atmos because I need to be further forward. But a lot of people have this. A lot of people are like you and me. They have that set up so that they can't put speakers behind them. So it's still good though. Like a speaker there, a subwoofer there, the sound bar up there. That's one of the best sound bars you can get, and the quality is phenomenal. When you're watching, in fact, I need to actually watch the second season of Andor because the special effects
Good
and
show.
that, and the soundtrack will be absolutely phenomenal. You can hear it when you watch a movie in this setup, Gray.
Yeah.
Like, not so much YouTube or normal TV, but see, when you put on a movie, you're like, oh, wow. Or the football, you hear the audience from behind you, the crowd. It's worth it, man, especially if it's your
Let me
main
ask you a
TV.
question. I know it's a little, we're on a tangent right now, everybody.
We
but
are.
You like
We're famous for it.
You like our tangents, so we just do it. Have you heard Dune on your setup yet?
No, but I should. I watched them at the cinema, though, to be fair, because they are cinema movies, IMAX.
Yeah. Yeah, but Dune, man, they have such a good soundtrack. I'll bet it's going to sound really good. Oh, let me ask you a question while we're still on this, and people might want to know out there that are listening. If I did the two rear speakers and put them in the corners of the ceiling and aimed them down to our head, would that work?
That'd be a good shout. That would probably be the best thing you can actually do. Yeah, aim them down, and then maybe you can even move the couch several inches away from the wall. Just
it actually is a few inches away from, but I can't, because if I do it, I'll be on top of the television.
Right, yeah. No, listen, I think you should do that and not get any Dolby Atmos set up, because that would be too expensive. Whereas this would be a nice close second. So there you go. Yeah. So sorry, a massive tangent there, guys, but we're famous for it, and it is to do with like tech and music and Wi-Fi. And
whenever we go on a tangent, people love it. They write into us and say, we want to hear more tangents. Like, okay.
Do they now? Really? Yeah, anyway. So I was talking last about the Epic side of things. I may as well just continue on there. Just call me Bad News Trev.
That's it.
This article that I found online, we're talking about I mentioned before about the decline of the gaming industry, and it's kind of the same here, because this article reads, as UK game development suffers its sharpest recorded decline, Trade Association calls on UK government to act. It says employment fell for the first time in 15 years, and the number of studios is dropping. I'm just reading some of this stuff and not all of it, because it's a lot of stats, and it's more about I want to hear more of our opinions on this one than anything else. A report finds that in the year up to September 2025, the UK game development sector lost 1,537 jobs, resulting in a 4.5% drop, the fastest decline ever recorded since 2011. That's when they started measuring that. And the workforce is, since between May 2024 and September 2025, has dropped from 28,000 to 27,000. They only see this going down and down and down. Now, I don't really know why they're calling government help here, unless it's some kind of tax thing, because there is many good quality studios here that make great games. One of them, the biggest easily, is Rockstar North, based, and they might have a branch in London, I don't know, but their main UK or European headquarters is in Edinburgh, just not far from where I stay, actually, and they're one of the main studios making Grand Theft Auto. Now, they're not the only one. It's a worldwide effort. There are other Rockstar studios around the world are helping, but they're the lead guys in that one. And then also there was Builder Rocket Boy in Edinburgh as well, who they're the games that made what was that bloody game that flopped? Deadeye, the one that was like a GTA kind of rip-off, grain, that had massive problems.
I know you're talking about,
yeah, the one that was talking about corruption and all that stuff in the studio, and so there was another example. And obviously there's a lot of indie studios, the guys that made Fallout London, who are now starting up their own proper indie company. So I don't really know what I was seeing, if I could see like the tax rates here, because maybe it was too expensive. The association has called on UK government to enhance the Video Games Expenditure Credit, or VGEC for short, which currently lets companies claim back 34% on 80% of their total qualifying costs during development. It's called in the government to expand the rate to 53% for projects up to £23.5 million. It estimates this would create nearly 7,000 jobs, meaning while the increased rate would cost HMRC, His Majesty's Revenue and Customs, £135 million, it would generate £156.4 million in tax revenues. So it looks like they do get a bit of help from the UK government, but they're looking for a bit more. I am proud of the gaming industry in Scotland and the UK, and I would like to see it keep going. You're seeing a lot of these game studios, Gray, that are not necessarily US-based ones, because the US-based ones, the reason a lot of jobs are cut from there is the salary expectations. They're really high, really, really high, especially on the West Coast. No surprise. It costs even more, so they'll move more studios to like the East Coast, to Canada, to Europe, because it's cheaper. There's rebates like these things I've just mentioned here. There is a massive, well, that's not massive, there's a big university near here in a city called Dundee that actually revolves around computing and game development and that kind of thing. And you can actually go in and learn specifically about that kind of stuff.
That's not Crocodile Dundee, right? It's different.
No, fortunately not. No, nothing Australian about it. The original Dundee. See, all these names that you hear of, you probably got a lot of them from this from Europe, sort of Europe from the UK. So there is an Edinburgh in the States, for example, but and then obviously the Birmingham's the big example. Birmingham is originally in England, but obviously it's famous in the States as well now. So anyway, it's not looking good at the moment. The industry is starting to go down the pan. I don't know what will happen in a couple of years' time from now, Gray. Like, what, just keep going on like this and kind of whittling down and whittling down?
The main thing is nothing gets fixed or goes up until you hit the bottom. And we keep on thinking that it's hit the bottom, and it's not. They're still happening. So until the actual bottom is hit, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see it turn around. So this could be going on for the next several years. You know, like I said, the only benefit I think to gaming, not that we want to see people lose their job, but the benefit is that a lot of these people will be picking up jobs in smaller studios. At this rate, I would rather have the small studios and indies put out games that we've been seeing them putting out that are so good from now on. I mean, we need quality games. We don't need, as you say, cut and paste. And I'm really getting to the point now where I'm really not liking the fact that there's a lack of originality. So when these people actually make the new games like Expedition 33 and Enshrouded and stuff, this is something. Yes, there's always some parts that are the same. I mean, it comes from the same root, right? But they're doing a bunch of new stuff that nobody else is doing. I mean, that's what we like. We want to see some originality. Give us some of the familiar stuff. That's cool. But please give us some originality. And when you see when you see almost zero originality, I'm like, oh, please.
Just look at Clair Obscura, Expedition 33 is the example we keep peddling, because it cost them about 30 million, I think, to make a AAA game.
Which is amazing.
It can be done for a good price. I'm not going to say a cheap price, a good price, with quality people coming together and doing something they're passionate about. And they priced the game accordingly. It wasn't AAA priced. It's more like AA price, so credit where credit's due. Gray, actually, there was something I forgot to mention down here for the hardware section side of things that's actually relevant to what I've just been discussing. It's a shame Hans is not around for this, because he would love to bash it. Sony has confirmed a significant price increase for PlayStation 5 consoles globally. Yeah, with all models increasing by at least $100. Now, wait for this, right? Wait for this. I'll read out some of the kind of prices to give you an idea. From April the 2nd, probably by the time you hear this, it'll be live. The cheapest edition, which is the digital edition, without the disk drive, will retail for $600, £520, €600, which is an increase of $100, while the premium PS5 Pro console has seen $150 price rise to $900, £790 or €900. And it's the usual. You won't be surprised to hear, guys. It's the usual. It's they're blaming the global economic landscape. The price of the cheapest model, which was the digital model, has literally doubled in price, 50% since it launched in 2020. And everything's gone up in price here as well. That was just the main thing. Like their little portal device thing as well, that's gone up in price. The controllers as well. It's the only generation where prices went up instead of went down as time goes on, because you only get the console cheaper. But the prices are actually going up, up, up. And this was something Hans put in not long ago to the gaming section in Discord of PS Plus, PlayStation Plus, their subscription model. That there was rumors that that's literally going to double in price. All their tiers are literally going to double in price. Everything's gone up. Something needs to give. Like even when I renewed my season ticket for the football recently, they increased the prices by 6.5%. Could have been worse. It could have been way worse. I was hoping for closer to 5%. But everything but anything is going up. So literally we're having to choose what we want to do. And the gaming industry is a big example of this suffering, because people are saying, right, it's not a priority. It's really not a priority. Epic are giving out free games. You get free games sometimes in Steam. People are playing their live service games instead. It's kind of nuts. So when the new consoles come out, great. I mean, they're going to have to price them less than the PS5 Pro, for example, because it won't sell otherwise.
Yeah,
it wouldn't sell, and we're so close to the $1,000 console rate that, you know, when they bring out consoles to begin with, they subsidize them at the start. They lose a bit in them so they can make it back in software. The PS5 Pro was an exception to that because that was an enthusiast level entry console, and they didn't take a hit on that. So that's why it was priced at like $700 when it came out. Things are just going absolutely nuts at the moment. People will still buy them, but they're already the current generation.
Not that many, though.
The current generation have lost a lot of they've lost a lot of money already, and a lot of the, you know, like every generation they try and outdo the last generation about how many consoles they've sold. This generation, it's slowing down. It's just slowing right down.
Yeah.
Like PlayStation 5, as successful as it is, will never going to win any kind of awards. Same with the Switch 2, as famous and as popular as it's been. It's a matter of time before its price goes up. It's not went up since it came out. So, I
saw a video that when they were discussing what you're saying, and they were saying that what they feel is even worse is the fact that because the PS 5 or 6 or whatever is coming for the $1,000 almost, it now becomes a non-entry point into console gaming, etc. Whereas before they always had a steady rise of people picking up a console and playing, you know, games and stuff. But they said at this price point, it's going to be either flat line. So in other words, there will be no new entry level, or go down to where you start losing people. And the problem with that is that means less games will be bought because of it, which means you then are affected on the game side of things. So either way, it's multiple bad news down the line.
Yeah. It's been unfortunately lots of bad news articles today. I don't know. Bad news seems to sell. I don't know.
That's why, like, eBay is selling older graphics cards, older pre-built computers where they never sold that many before. Now all of a sudden people are going nuts to try to find something that could be affordable where they could play games, you know, still. So it's crazy, man.
Pretty nuts, man. It's pretty nuts.
Yep.
I don't know, Gray. Maybe you want to go into your hardware tech news, so I'm not talking for too long. But you do have the Crimson Desert thing in there, so I don't know if you.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna wait for Hans because he wanted to really talk about that and stuff. So we'll skip over that.
Okay.
If you want me to do the hardware, I can and come back to you for games.
Yeah,
whatever you want.
Just gives my voice box a little rest.
Okay, no problem. All right, so let's see. I have up on the first one, we're talking about a leak has happened about, guess what? RTX 60 series GPUs from NVIDIA, as if we care. I mean, we do, but we don't, if that makes any kind of sense. So anyway, a leak came out, and supposedly I don't even know how this, you got to take this with a grain of salt. That's all I'm saying. But supposedly the rumors have come out of what the RTX 6000 series is going to be, or what it'll have. And from what we're reading, basically out there, they're going to be utilizing what they call the GR20X Rubin series silicon with the TSMC 3 nanometer silicon chips. So whatever. From a technical standpoint, that's cool, but again, I don't know. And the RTX series is going to aim for a 2 times increase in path tracing performance over the RTX 50 series, and in non-ray tracing, pure raster performance, the gains are going to be way smaller, like around 35%, maybe. The new GPUs will reportedly feature 6th generation Tensor cores and 5th generation RT cores. So you're already talking about mixing new with old, and that the performance gains under non-ray tracing is going to not really be even worth it. And what did we all say in this podcast? All of us have said now for months now that the new GPUs are going to be mostly all software driven junk and nothing to do with hardware. And that's pretty much how it's going down. I mean, yeah, you could pick, split hairs and say like, well, yeah, but they're putting in the 6th generation Tensor cores, and like, at this point, it's nice, but who cares? I mean, it's going to be too expensive. They'll probably be charging more than they really need to for what it's supposedly going to do. And I think you're going to find a lot of people skipping over a generation at least, or maybe even screwing it all together, because what I think is going to happen eventually, I don't know if this will go this way, but when you get some smart modders out there, when there's a lot of them, we talk about it here, and they figure out how to software and improve their own GPUs, you won't have to buy one anymore. I mean, it's a lot harder to sit there and do a hardware job on a card than it is to do a software job. So if somebody smart comes along and figures out how to make their GPU better with software and not have to pay anybody, it's going to happen. So I really don't see anything in here nothing here excites me, period. And I know the price isn't going to excite me at all. So I'm not even, in a nutshell, they were saying that clock targets are 2 gigahertz to, let's see, low 3 gigahertz. So a slight bump on the RTX 50, which is, who cares about a slight bump? Let's see. Oh, here's the configurations. A 6090 is going to have still only 32 gigs of RAM. So why would you do that? If you're going to try to make it better, don't you want to try to push it to 40? I don't know, 45.
Costs so much. New RAM.
True,
though.
but still, you're going to pay a high price. You might as well get a little something more, but whatever. They're going to have a 6080 with 20 gigs of RAM. Of course, remember, this is all speculation, kind of. A 6070 with 16 gigs of RAM. So that's kind of it as far as anything else, but I don't know. We'll see. This might be a good time for AMD to make a move, maybe. If they want to try to take some of the market. I don't know.
My whole take on this, great. I like you. I'm not surprised by this. I'm not totally enthused about the future because, like Rasta only goes up by about 35%. I don't think that's as bad as people make out, considering we're getting so close to Moore's Law being dead that there's only so much physical power you can actually get out of these things unless you go in different directions. So that's why I think the 4090 and the 5090 are two of the last kind of good high-end cars that are achievable, that are actually affordable. Any new car that comes out, 6090, will be more than the $2,000, £1,800, €2,000 MSRP for a Founders Edition. It will be more than that for only the extra 30 or so %. And if it was competitive in price, you might still get a lot more people buying it and going, okay, we realise we're getting to the stage of little return in terms of actual pure raw raster performance, but it's priced accordingly. And I think that's another reason why the price of the RAM the price of the RAM, the amount of VRAM is staying the same. Because ultimately, do you need more than 32 gig? Like, you really, really don't. I get nowhere near using that on my end. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're saying there, Gray. Like, for the money you've got, you should be throwing more at it, which isn't a bad thing. It's just like what you're actually going to get out of it at the end of the day. And RAM costs so much at the moment, as we know, that it's not going to happen. So, yeah, not ideal. I can't see anyone of us getting it. Can't see any of us getting it, but you never know. We are hardware enthusiasts at heart, so it really does depend. It would be perfect for AMD though, like you say, because they were skipping the last generation on purpose on the high end. If they were competitive again in the high end, that would be great. I can't see them doing it though. I just can't see them doing it. I tried to get one of their graphics cards. I tried it. It was ugly looking. It wasn't as powerful as the NVIDIA cards. It's more the devil you know with NVIDIA, unfortunately.
But I think where it's going to change for AMD though is because the GPUs are going more towards software improvements. AMD can compete on the software side, so now they'll instead of having to worry so much about the hardware, they can probably compete fairly well on the software side of things. So I expect that to change and get better for AMD, but we'll see.
Yeah, well, for us, right, owning the 5090s, it's handy because they'll keep improving those cards for a while to come, Greg, because they know not as many people will be buying the new cards. Raster performance is slowing down. They're trying to improve in other directions. So we will see further. There's still improvements still to come. Dynamic frame gen for one. And it's coming. DLSS 5.0, whether you love it or hate it, it's to come. So I don't blame them for raster performance is slowing down. I don't blame them for trying to find other ways to make it cool and bring out new technologies, but just price things accordingly is what I would say. I know it'll be slowing down for everyone. I just don't like people just constantly getting shafted and ripped off. So, but yeah, I take that with a pinch of salt, man.
Since we kind of talked about DLSS 5, we might as well go into that. I had a story on that one. We're going to get our opinions, mine and Trev's, but one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting is I had read this article and it says, here's what NVIDIA's DLSS 5 looks on Starfield right now. So I started thinking about this, and you've all heard, if you've been listening to our podcast, how much I hated the look of that game. Aside from the fact of some of the gameplay, which they have improved, I'll give them credit for that. But it didn't change the fact that the characters look about as old as the Mass Effect 1 characters look, maybe worse. And I just didn't understand after all these years, why would you keep on doing the same? So when I saw a few frames of what it looks like when you put on the DLSS 5, which is basically like I had mentioned last week, I call it AISS, the hell with DL. And I looked at it and I go like, whoa. So I saw like one of the characters that are very bland and blah, like they all are in that game. And then I see the DLSS 5 take hold and I go like, ooh, well, now we're talking.
Yeah.
So my feeling is, I know there's a decent amount of people out there that are kind of like, well, it's an AI thing and everything looks like AI and it's blah, blah, blah. Oh, all right. I get it. I understand that. I don't think you need that kind of AI effect on a game that already looks good. In fact, I wouldn't turn it on. Maybe I would turn it on out of curiosity. But generally speaking, I'm not going to turn it on in a game that already looks great. But for games that look like crap, like Starfield, wow, it's a whole new thing now. I might even actually go back and play it if it looks that good.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just
you know why? Like Bethesda and their shitey creation engine, man. Honestly, when they brought this game out, they were like, "Oh, we're making version 2.0 of the engine or 2.5, whatever it was," and we were thinking, "Oh yeah, it's going to look better," and it did look a bit better, but not a lot. And this picture, this is from the picture we're looking at. The article for the audio folk is from InsiderGaming.com, and you just look at the left and the right, and the left is DLSS 5.0 off. It looks like a Bethesda engine creation engine
It's cringe,
graphic.
man. It's
It's
cringe.
shit. It's so bland. And then on the right, you've got DLSS 5 on, and this is one of the examples where it looks great and it actually looks more modern and closer to photorealistic. We all love our shiny graphics, right? On the Extreme Gaming Podcast, we're all visual snobs. Yeah. Hence why we're compensating by getting big, massive 5090 graphics cards and all the shiny things, because we want the best quality possible. And that's sometimes not possible when you've got shit games like Starfield and their crappy graphics, you know. So I've just absolutely ripped Bethesda a new one, but they should be doing better.
I mean, I just think the complaints are coming in too hot and heavy. I mean, just hold on. When it comes out later this year, you know, and it does what they're talking about or what I see. In fact, actually, the article says that there's for the demo to show this, they did 12 minutes of the game in DLSS 5. So you can imagine, you know, how much more, like maybe replacing the whole game with it.
And you don't need to use it, Gray. That's the thing. People are bitching and moaning.
Right. Yes, exactly. Right.
Who else said this? Was it right? Okay, I'm going to slag someone, and apologies for people that like him. I apologize. Steve at Gamers Nexus. I can't go him anymore. I used to. The guy talks way too quick, and I understand English, right? I struggle to understand him. He talks way too quick. The guy really needs to cut his hair. He thinks he's like 20 again. He's not. He waffles and complains. He doesn't know how to talk to people. And he absolutely slagged the DLSS 5. But then there's other people that were absolutely raving about it, going, wait a minute, it's too early to be bitching and moaning about this. It might actually be a good thing. You don't have to use it, blah, blah, blah. And yet people are still losing their mind. I don't get it. No one is forcing you at gunpoint to enable this by default.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't get it, man.
To me, I look at it as customization. And I always say I'm big on customization. You should be able to customize just about everything. Yeah. So I look at it as a tool for customization. If your game looks like shit, you turn it on and it looks better.
And if it already looks good, don't turn it on because you might make it look worse. Simple.
Right, exactly. I have to read a quote here that I read from Todd Worthless Howard at at Bethesda. He goes and watches this whole display of what the DLSS does on Starfield, and he goes, "Oh, in the wake of that reveal, Todd Howard of Bethesda noted that the company is excited to work with the new technology and bring it to Starfield and other future titles."
I bet you.
Why? Because they all look like crap.
Because your creation engine is shite.
So that he knows that now he's got something to fall back on and say, like, hey, man, our games look like shit. All you got to do is put DLSS 5 on it and we're saved. And it's just like, please, Todd, you know, don't make it sound like it's you. It wasn't you.
And let's not forget as well as us, the user, the gamer, not having to use it, the developer has power over whether they even implement it into the game. So they could hard code it in if they wanted to, but they'd be mad to do that. They would just put in, if they want to enable it, they'd give you the option to turn it on or off, or they might not include it at all because they don't think that's right. And I'm different from Gray in this respect. I'm very vanilla, the way it was intended by the developer. I also respect Gray's option of modern things and changing it. It's good to have the power and control. He likes doing that. I don't. It's good to have different opinions, but yeah, it's a good thing. How can it be a bad thing, man?
I'll tell you one thing. They definitely, in my opinion, they're definitely going to have a thing where you can switch it on and off because of this type of backlash or whatever.
And it's not ready. It's nowhere near ready yet, Gray, as well. So I interrupt you. It's nowhere near ready. It's not coming out until autumn later this year. They were running a demo and they ran it on two 5090s. One for the DLSS 5 stuff and the other for the raster, because it can run on one card, but it's not at that stage. They're still working on it. It'll get better.
Yeah. I'm kind of wondering, I think part of the thing they got to work on is, does that mean that when it comes out, it can only be run on a 5090 or a 5080 and that's about it? I hope I'm wrong.
It's a 50 series card. I think that's what it was.
True.
Yeah. So, which is fair, you know, latest card, latest technology.
But can you imagine, like, when we say 50 series, it has to run like on a 5070 and a 5060. You know, I mean, you can't
50 series. Even a 50, what's the lowest one? 5060 or 5050 or whatever it is.
I forget. Or they were going to do it, but they didn't come out. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. I got a feeling though, probably over time, NVIDIA is going to make DLSS 5 work to some extent somehow with the 40 series too. I'm sure.
They sometimes
right
do
away.
that, Gray. They sometimes backport things once it's been out for a while.
Right.
So maybe.
I mean, probably not much lower than that, but still, that'd be kind of cool. Last thing I was going to cover, we talked a minute ago about AMD. And it was interesting. AMD made a big announcement finally for the Ryzen 9 9950X3D2.
Yeah.
I have an X3D, not 2, and I'm very happy with it. But I understand why they came out with this. And when they came out with it, they said nearly 1/3 of the feedback was, why don't you put FS4 on all the other GPUs you have? It didn't say anything about the new chip. They said, well, you need to put this on all the stuff, get what's going on with FSR4. So they totally were changing the subject and just
completely.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there going like, hello. And that means like, it's kind of like McFly, knock on your head, don't you think maybe you want to do this? Everybody wants to see it. So it kind of took the shine off the debut of the chip in some respects. But I can't blame them. I mean, if FSR4 does look really good, so you're only going to stick it on one GPU or whatever and not even have the chance to two. Sorry. But I mean, they can backward do it. They do it now.
Can they though? Because NVIDIA say that some things are hardware dependent. Some things can't run on older cards. That's what AMD are saying now with their last gen cards. Only FSR 4.0 can run on the latest cards because it's hardware dependent. So maybe they can, maybe they can't. I don't know.
Further into the article, this is kind of interesting. It says, going back to FSR4, AMD has already hinted that it may consider releasing FS4 Lite.
What?
It's like light beer. You get the regular beer or the light. So they're going to come out with the FS4 Lite.
No one likes the light beer.
And they said that they possibly expect this to happen alongside with FSR 4.1, which was released last week. So okay, look for FSR4 Lite for you people that have older cards.
What's your take on the new CPU, the new 9950X3D2, considering you've got the first one? Are you tempted?
No. I mean, if I had like lots of disposable income, maybe, but I don't. So I look at it as being, it's interesting. I only get a little bit peeved because I wish if they had come out with that, I would have bought that instead of the regular X3D. But other than that, I don't care. My X3D is like great. I have no issues.
It's only 5 to 10% faster. It'll be about the same price, if not more, for 5 to 10% more. We don't know what it'll be like for gaming yet, because I mean both CCDs have more. They have the V cache on both of them now,
right?
And it's got the most level 3 cache now of any AMD chip yet, short of Threadripper. If I had the first one, I had the 9950 X3D, and I was having problems with it. So I was like, right, I'm getting rid of this. I'm purely just going back to the gaming one. So that's why I waited for the 9850, and I'm glad I did. I haven't overclocked it yet, but I will at some point. This here, I wonder how it'll work. If V-cache is on both CCD, this is where like Hans might know the answer to this. If both CCDs have V-cache on them, whereas the one you've got at the moment, Gray, the 9950 X3D, only one of the CCDs has got V-cache on it. One's for like the multimedia side of things, one's for the gaming, and a Windows scheduler schedules between which CCD is used and which one's not. And that's where I was running into problems with mine. But if both of them have got V-cache on them and both of them are kind of similar in that respect, I have no clue what CCD a game will use now. I'm so curious. So even if I wanted this chip, which I don't, I wouldn't rush out to get it until you've seen many reviews from people that test it for everything. Gaming, the Windows scheduler, how well it manages both CCDs, how much faster it's going to be. It is a cracking chip. Don't get me wrong, it's the best chip you can get for sort of going to Threadripper, because Threadripper gets into the thousands. But Gray doesn't need it. It'd be nice to have. I would like to have it, but I don't need it. I think I'll just stick to the gaming chip, and we'll see what the reviews say.
Well, the other thing too is on the software side of things, or whatever. Or I ended up installing and using Park Control, which activates all of the cores. I also have the Ultimate Performance Lasso, and Lasso also gets around other, if you want to call it, shortcomings of the chip. So really, it's kind of like with those two things running on my chip, I have like an X3D 1.5.
Well, explain the core parking
don't
thing,
ask me
man.
to explain it, please.
No, like you don't need to go into detail. Just like you're talking, because right, without getting too technical, the Windows scheduler, which is very important in Windows, controls all these things to do with the cores. It will basically park all the if you're playing a game, it will park the non-gaming CCD and then just use the CCD for gaming. And then when you switch to another application quickly that, say, is multimedia, maybe you're exporting in the background, you switch to that, and then it'll park other cores and bring the other cores into play, and it switches seamlessly, right? Hence, I had issues with it. I stopped using it. You're trying to say to us, this bit of software, when you're playing a game, will activate every bloody core.
Yep.
Wow. What?
They're all activated right now. I'm looking right at it. It says Park Control. All CPU cores are active! Exclamation point.
What are they running at? 5 what?
What do you mean?
Speed wise, does it tell you what speed they're running at?
You know what? Let me see if I can bring it up.
It's going to say, because usually it tells you the speed.
It says here. I don't pretend to be an expert, but it says Ultimate Performance 4.3 gigahertz. 8 of 8 cores, and they actually show, it's funny, they actually show 8 of them here, and they're all showing like which ones are more active than others, and by like a little graph.
You've got 16 cores though.
I know. And let me see what parking. I don't pretend to know everything. I actually had to go to ChatGPT to figure some of this out. And
it
Project
sounds
Lasso,
like it says activating 8, not 16. All 8 rather than all 16.
Well, maybe it means all 8 cores are active, and they didn't really specify.
Which is not a bad thing, because it's not to say that all 8 cores would be activated by default if you're, say, running a game. I want all my cores to be running at the same time where possible at as fast a speed as I possibly can.
See, on here it says plugged in AC or on battery. I'm not on battery, but it says plugged in. It says parking is off. Frequency scaling is off. Now I could click them on, but it's actually doing its own thing. So I don't want to screw things up right now, because I don't understand all of it. What I did was when I consulted ChatGPT, I understood what they were saying. I'm not pretending to understand it all 100%, but enough to know that it works and it helps. So I did that. The Lasso was, I didn't trust what Lasso was doing originally, but now that they've improved it, I liked what I read, but I wasn't really sure of how you're supposed to integrate it. So I had to go back to ChatGPT for that, and I just followed it slowly, step by step by step.
What's Lasso doing, to the best of your knowledge?
I don't know. No.
You got to know something, otherwise you wouldn't enable it, would you?
I thought that was when I was studying all that stuff. No, it's real-time CPU optimization and automation.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So basically, I could probably read like a little bit. Helps maintain system responsive during high CPU loads. A bit some highest performance power plan for ultimate performance. This is also supposed to improve the 1% lows that Hans was having all the trouble with. Project Lasso actually tackles that and gets you back, where you need to be. Responsiveness metric, monitor system responsive with our proprietary metric. Automation, automate CPU affinities, priorities, and other process settings. So it's like an ultimate tweaky thing for high-end chips, etc.
Ultimate tweaky thing.
Yeah. Algorithms such as CPU eliminator, instant balancer, group extender. I mean, this is stuff, that some of it's going on now, but if you want to really tinker, you can do a bunch of different things with it. But all I know is I saw what it did. I understood what it did, and I understand what the parkours are supposed to do, even though I don't know it fully well enough to know that if it's better to put it in to overcome. I hate to say shortcomings. It's not like my chip has lots of shortcomings. It's just that we get real tweaky here on lots of stuff. So I wanted to overcome some of this stuff that I've been reading, and there you go, software.
Maybe the 9950 X3D2 is actually aimed more for you then, Gray, because that's the chip that you won't have to worry about which CCD is used and what cores are parts and whatnot, because it will hopefully manage it a lot better, and you'll get that 5 to 10% extra performance. Saying that, you don't edit as much as you used to, so
true.
Maybe you should be on the same chip as me, the 9850. Ultimate gaming performance, best gaming chip out there.
I don't know if it was, I don't remember if it was Gamer Nexus or somebody, but I did see one where they really put the chips through its paces, the one you have now and the one I have. And the percentages of how much better your chip is over gaming was
small.
So
I know.
Yeah, it wasn't worth it. Now, if it was a radical
every inch counts, Gray. Every inch counts.
Yeah, okay. Or every millimeter at this rate. But anyway, I'm just, I like it because we all here are enthusiasts, and a lot of you people that listen out there are a mixture of enthusiasts and just because you like what we do. And so we like to do all these tweak things, and I try to pass it on to people. I will try to endeavor to get a little more into these two programs to explain it in a future podcast for sure. And that way will help. But again, like I said, I'm big on customization. I talked a while back about Vivaldi, the new browser, well, new to me, and I will never go back again to Firefox. It's just wonderful. I mean, it does so many different things.
I'm looking forward to your future podcast where you explain all this. We could call it Core Parking for Dummies or something.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. That's what we'll do. Anyway, that was the end of my the little whatever.
Cool.
So I think did you have one more thing left? I think.
Yeah,
you had your game news. Yeah.
Yeah, a wee bit of gaming news for you. Nothing kind of too major. Bit of nostalgia. I don't know if this is your cup of tea or not, Gray, or if you played it back in the day. Star Fox, the game, Nintendo. Did you ever play that back in the day? Was it your cup of tea?
Oh God, yeah, that goes way back.
Really
that was a fun game.
Star Fox, or whatever his name is, something McLeod. I can't remember the character's name. I know it's not Connor McLeod before you pop in with a cheesy comment or joke. Star Fox will be in the new Super Mario Galaxy movie that's coming out in April. And there is heavy rumours that it will be coming out again this year. They were expecting another 3D Mario game to come out because it's like some anniversary, but new 3D Mario game will probably be next year. However, there's two major remakes coming out this year. Star Fox, which will be cool. We don't know when, but they'll probably announce it in the summer. And the other one that's massive, is a Zelda remake. I'm trying to see which one it is, if anything. Oracle
of about that
what's
for a while.
That one? What is it? Oracle of Time? Or Oracle of Time? Or Oricana? How do you pronounce that?
Orcania.
Orcania.
I know that.
Of Time? Is that?
And I'm not even. You should know it better than me.
Well, not really, because I never played it.
Okay.
Ocarina, that's it. Sorry, I'm having a brain fart, guys.
Even I was wrong about that one.
That sounds better now. Ocarina of Time is most Zelda fans' favourite Zelda game. Most, not everyone's, but most. Was released in 1998 for the N64, and it's one of the highest beloved games in the world. It's also the highest rated game of all time on Metacritic. Of all time.
Wow.
I don't know its percentage, I haven't checked, but it's the highest rated of all time still to this day. Cool. Don't be surprised if it's like a 98, 99 or 100 or something. That remake is rumoured to be coming out this year as well, and if that's the case, that would be absolutely huge. That might come out for holiday 2026. That's the one I'd be more interested in. I would be interested in Star Fox as well. Don't get me wrong. Like the concept of that game is pretty brilliant, and I remember it back in the day. with the cheesy characters and whatnot, and the unique control schemes, and how he could go. He was a bit like a transformer. He could go from like flying mode into like robot mode on the floor, and then come back up again and start flying around. It was a really cool game, and it was one of their big franchises back in the day, along with kind of Zelda and Mario.
Is the
and
new
whatnot,
Star Fox game going to be strictly Nintendo, or is it going to be on other platforms?
It's Nintendo only. It's literally they don't put their first party titles in anything. So if everyone's going to get pissed off at Sony, you should get pissed off at Nintendo as well. Fair's fair. Fair's fair. I mean, people don't get pissed off at Nintendo though. That's the thing. It's like double-edged.
I think we do for the certain reasons, but they've been this way since day one, so everybody just accepts the fact.
True.
True. I wouldn't say you'll never see them on PC, but pretty much you'll never see them on PC.
The main. There you go. There's the main chap's name, Fox McCloud. Fox McCloud.
Our Fox.
Confirmed appearance in the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah, and then there was heavy.
Are they going to use the original guy's voice from way back?
Well, it was kind of gibberish, wasn't it? It was like gibberish talk, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anybody could probably do that one.
We could do that easy. Star Fox probably in the summer this year, and then the Zelda remake would be out later this year, and that would they're going to have to be very careful with that, Gray, because it's so beloved by Nintendo fans and Zelda fans that how do you remake it and not make it worse? No pressure at all, and I've still to complete Tears of the Kingdom after completing Breath of the Wild, so I need to get on that before they bring out more. But it's kind of exciting to see what this leaked ahead of the second half of 2026, what Nintendo are going to kind of bring out. And it's looking kind of promising, because if things are going up in price and they're not selling as many consoles as the ones did, software for them is going to be really, really important. And some of the best first-party titles ever on Nintendo ones, to be honest with you, maybe the best, possibly. Zelda turned 40 last month, so this would be the perfect year to bring out that remake. And then next year, the Legend of Zelda movie's coming out, which, yes, bring it on.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a perfect one to take the son and the grandson and all that to the cinema, I think.
Yep.
It's got to be done. So, yeah. And then the last thing I've got, kind of still talking about Nintendo, Crimson Desert is, I think it's more than 5 million sales now. Pearl Abyss have done really, really well with this game. Apparently, the longer you play it, the better it gets. It's a bit crap at the start, but once you keep playing it, it gets better and better. They're in a promising position. They are now throwing their R&D into making a Switch 2 port. They really should, to be fair. If it can run on an Xbox Series S and an original Xbox Series X, and it can run an original PlayStation 5, I don't see why it can't run on a Switch 2 with DLSS support. That would be a no-brainer. They'd make a lot of money for it. I haven't started Crimson Desert. I have no clue when I will. And Gray, yes, I did see the post that you sent us before. I won't say much more about that, but yes, that's interesting that there's other ways to play it. Let's put it that way. So yeah, I'm actually looking forward to trying that at some point. It's just such a massive game, Gray, to get into, that it's like, it's one of these games that if I go into it, I want it to be my main focus.
You won't play any other games.
Yeah, and don't eat, don't sleep, like pee into a bowl or something, just don't move.
I'm going to try to start it hopefully this week and see what's up. But 5 million copies, that's yeah. What is it? I forgot what the price of the game is now. Do you remember?
I got it for free when I got the CPU, so I can't remember. But it's normal MSRP. So what's $70? £60.
Hold on, now I'm curious.
I know on loaded, formerly CD keys, it's £53. So I've got a funny feeling it's. But anyway, we will talk more about Crimson Desert next week when Hans is back. But it is doing really, really well.
Oh, you're right. You're right. The base game is 70. Wow.
Yeah. It's a AAA title, so I don't really begrudge that. And yeah, we'll talk about it more next week, but they've done such a good job of it at the moment. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it going forwards. And it does look like a stunning game. I can't wait to run it on like max because it's got so many customizable settings for it. They haven't decided yet if there's going to be DLC for it. It would be again no-brainer not to make any. It really wouldn't, because it's like it's not an online game, so there's a lot of potential with that one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that in the near future. But like when Hans goes back next week, we'll talk more about is it de novo, the kind of how would you describe that? It's a kind of system that will lock down the machine from you like copying it, even though that's already been beat and hacked. And it slows things down. So I'll be curious to see the difference between them. But
so by the way, just because I wanted to see, I did 70 times 5 million, $350 million.
Well, it probably cost them quite a bit to make it, to be fair, mate. So
I would think so, yeah. But I think they at the very least, I think they probably broke even. So
by now it's more than that. But now, surely to God, it's do we know how much it take to make the game?
You know what? While we're looking, let me just
see. I was going to say, like, that's a ChatGPT question or something.
Okay. It says here they estimate it was the reported budget was 133 million.
Oh wow.
So if that let's just say for argument's sake is 150, so they've already doubled their money plus.
That is cheap. So $133 million for a AAA title like that is cheap in 2026.
And considering how many different systems are in that game, you can do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's I'm not going to say it's surprising because people are doing that now. It just shows you that AAA games don't have to have a budget in the stratosphere. And stuff. So
it's going to be a great game by default, just because the main character's Scottish, so it's going to be great by default.
I knew you were going
to. He looks like a more modern, more handsome version of William Wallace, what with the hair shorter and whatnot.
Oh, I thought you were going to say it was a more handsome version of you, but that's okay.
No, that's impossible. That's impossible, mate. So yeah.
Oh, it's impossible. Okay.
We will talk more Crimson Desert next week when Hans is back. But yeah, that's me for today, Master Gray.
By the way, one more funny thing. Can you tell me where this came from? Hold on.
Oh, God. I know what you're going to play.
If it'll play. Oh, come on. Another Riverside thing. Play.
What the hell was that?
Did you hear it?
No. I just heard an explosion. It sounds like you get diarrhea.
I don't know. I guess it didn't sound. I didn't even hear it. So
it sounded like digital diarrhea.
One more time. Let me see. I don't even hear it, so I don't know what's going on. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Riverside. Okay. Never mind.
That is... You need to hear that back, Ray. That was just
how are you hearing it and I'm not hearing it?
It was...
Well, anyway, where do you think that came from?
I don't know. It just sounded like a weird noise.
That's the Reaper's honk in Mass Effect. Remember when the Reapers used to come in and
I've never played Mass Effect, which is also the theme of the quiz, but since there's only 2 of us at this stage at the moment,
you guys are going to get these. That's why I put when we do it next week, I put multiple choice, so at least you have a shot.
Yes. I haven't played the game, so I'll probably get spanked at that, no doubt. But yeah, that's interesting. There we go.
I think we're done. Wait, technically you're the host, so you have to say goodbye first.
Oh, really? It's like that? I thought you were taking over and helping me out, right? No, fine. Okay, all right. Yes, we will be back next week. It's been a bit all over the place today. I was running a bit late, and then Hans has got parenting stuff to do and fun and games, and Mr. Matt's not back yet. But, we've always got you covered one way or another. Thank you for leading the way at the start for us. Great. Appreciate it.
No problem.
And until next week, say goodbye to the lovely people, Gray.
Goodbye, peoples.
See you later. Bye-bye.
That's cool.